Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm sat on the floor because of the sunlight coming through the window facing me is crazy at the minute, and you'll see in a second it's going to come through and blind me. If I wasn't sitting on the floor, I'll be even more blinded than I will be now. It's coming, it's coming. But anyway, today's video I'm going to be sharing with you what my second trimester is like. I cannot believe I'm at the end of my second trimester. That is absolute madness. That means I'm at my third trimester, which means I've got 3 months left and I'm going to have another baby to look after. And I'm slightly terrified, if I do say so myself. First of all, actually, I'm just going to show you the bump now to get that over with because I'll forget otherwise. This is the bump. Here we go. We do have a bump now. It's a new bump. I would say it came about, it's really started popping out fairly recently. Can you see it? Can you see it? I'm wearing this hideous hoodie because it's cold, okay? I'm sorry, but I'm also not sorry because what am I going to do? My second trimester is coming to an end, and so yeah, I'm going to run through how I've been. Bear in mind, in my first pregnancy, during my second trimester, I was absolutely fine. I didn't have any symptoms really at all. I was walking up mountains to Arthur's Seat in Scotland. I didn't really know I was pregnant. Obviously I knew I was pregnant because I was like counting kicks and I had a bump-ish and I was pregnant, but I didn't really feel it, to say the least. Whereas this time round, especially in the past like 3 weeks, I have had everything happen. But anyway, let's just go back to the beginning of my second trimester, when basically the beginning of my second trimester I was like, okay, finally we're in my second trimester, the nausea and the tiredness is going to be gone, I'm going to be free from that. Well, I was wrong. For about 2 weeks into my second trimester I was still tired. The nausea had gone, thankfully, but the tiredness was sticking around for a bit longer than I would have liked, sleeping on the sofa after work, that kind of thing. Like, it was just not good. Thankfully that ended about 16 weeks I think, which is a relief because I was getting a bit sick of that because it's just so much when you just, you know, come home from work and you're already tired from being at work, but to be like having a nap on the sofa because you are so tired is not ideal. That's happened one more time since recently, but like I say, the first 2 weeks of my second trimester was like the last of the severe tiredness I was experiencing. Apart from that, the biggest thing that has been throughout this entire pregnancy so far, which has been driving me mad, I think it started like towards the end of my first trimester, and it's now been really strong recently in the second trimester. I don't think it's going to stop now because it's heartburn, and heartburn doesn't stop, does it? I had heartburn really badly with Ellis, my son, and I've got it again, but this time it's worse. It's at least 2 to 3 times a day I need to take a Rennie's tablet because it's just no good. I may speak to my doctors about it. I've got an appointment in a couple of weeks' time. I may speak to them and see if they can prescribe me something, because Rennie's are not cheap, so I'd rather have like prescribed Gaviscon or something like that, because yeah, it's never ending. That is probably the biggest symptom I've had of being pregnant this time round. Yeah. Obviously once I have this baby, heartburn will go away. So I've only got 3 more months left of heartburn, thankfully. My skin, especially at the beginning of the second trimester, around my nose and my chin were so dry, and my lips have been dry constantly. Nothing I can do is working. I drink water, I put like lips salve on, nothing is working. They're constantly dry. It's driving me mad. But at the beginning of my second trimester, up to about the middle of my second trimester, my nose and my chin were just so dry. I'm not sure if that's got something to do with like my face cream I was using at the time, but I'm putting it down to pregnancy. I don't know why, but it was super dry, flaking off skin. It was disgusting. Thankfully the nose and the chin have sorted themselves out because that wasn't much fun, but my lips are still struggling. It never ends. I need some sort of like industrial lip salve. So I think I've started feeling movements from about 15 weeks pregnant. I felt like that popping sensation of like popcorn inside you, or bubbles popping, butterflies. I don't know the best way to describe it, but that's what I think I felt from 15 weeks. And they've obviously got progressively stronger as the weeks have gone on. Recently they have been painful. This baby likes to kick everywhere, as opposed to Ellis, who sort of would focus more on the right side and up, whereas this one is doing a lot of downward kicking at the minute, which takes my breath away sometimes. And yeah, it's interesting. One thing to note, because I don't know the gender of this baby, whenever I say this baby kicks a lot, the amount of people that say, oh, if it's kicking you a lot, it's definitely a girl. I don't know why they have this sort of assumption that daughters hate their mums. You know, it's like a weird thing. It's like, oh, if she's a girl, she'll definitely be the one kicking you, and boys are a lot more gentle to their mums. And I'm like, not sure fetuses have that sort of knowledge. But yes, that's what people are saying. Obviously, but then other people are saying because I'm carrying forward as opposed to like sideways, I'm having a boy. We'll find out in 3 months' time. But yes, so I started feeling movements at 15 weeks, and like I said, carry on feeling kicks up till now, which is great. I have an app now which I count my kicks on a daily basis. I think it's called Kicks Count. It's a free app. I highly recommend it. And then as well, at the beginning to the middle of this trimester, as well as the kicking feeling, I felt a lot of like swishing movements. It's really hard to describe. I don't know how to describe it to anyone. The only way you would know what it feels like is if you've had a baby or if you've been pregnant, because it's just such a specific feeling of like something moving around inside you that's not like, you know, too much liquid that you've drunk. It's a really weird feeling, but I've definitely had that a lot. Even still now, I sometimes will feel it. I'll be like, oh, the baby's not kicked me, but I can feel it like moving around inside there. It's a really odd sensation. I had a cesarean last time. In my last pregnancy, I had a cesarean, and that cesarean scar, oh my gosh, it was so itchy at the beginning of the second trimester up until about the middle. It has stopped, thank goodness, but oh my gosh, it's just the scar. I think it was just obviously where, I don't know, the tissue is like, has healed, but obviously it's stitched together. I don't know how the cesarean works. I have never Googled it. I don't want to know anything about cesareans. The thought of it horrifies me, like the whole how far they cut and stuff. So I don't know what's stitched together, but it was very itchy, very uncomfortable, and where I've got like numbness on the cesarean scar, which is a normal thing, scratching a numb area is like torture. Oh, don't recommend that whatsoever. And then I went through a patch of like no symptoms at all, which was absolute bliss. I was just hopping along as normal, no worries, acting fine. You know, felt kicks here and there, but I didn't have any sort of tiredness. Heartburn was a bit on and off, not too bad, and didn't have any itchiness, didn't have any uncomfortableness. I think the worst I had was like, for some reason, I don't know if it's pregnancy related, I'm sure it is, like my nose vessels I think keep bursting, and so whenever I blow my nose, TMI, whenever I blow my nose there's like blood in what I blow my nose, but it's not like excess amounts of blood, and it's not like a nosebleed. I've never had a nosebleed before, but it's like a blood vessel has burst. I get that quite a lot, but that was like, you know, I had a few weeks of bliss, and then all of a sudden over the past 3 to 4 weeks, mainly 3 weeks, everything has changed. The bump has got so heavy, walking up a flight of stairs tires me out. I'm getting like Braxton Hicks all the time. Yeah, I'm, you know, having to walk, I'm starting to waddle a bit more. Sean is terrified that I'm going into early labour. I'm not, I'm sure of it. It's just that my bump has just gone very heavy all of a sudden. I think it's just my body adjusting to new weight. It says the baby is currently the size of a cauliflower head. I mean, who knows what that is, because you can get giant cauliflowers and you can get very small cauliflowers. I think this one is a medium-sized one. But yeah, the weight of this bump is definitely very different to Ellis. I've Googled it, as I Google everything, and it says that that usually happens because your ab muscles the second time round are not as strong as they were obviously pre-pregnancy, pre-ever having a baby, and so your ab muscles are weaker, so therefore your muscles aren't holding your bump as tightly as they were for your first pregnancy. So that is probably why I'm feeling a lot heavier and lower. And yeah, sometimes I really feel like the baby's like sitting in my pelvis, which is not very comfortable. And like I said, when they kick downwards, which isn't a very nice sensation, because it's like, oh, okay. Braxton Hicks are something that is something I've never had before. With Ellis, I didn't have Braxton Hicks at all, so I had no idea what to expect. Had them, but I didn't really put 2 and 2 together about what they were. I had like a feeling of tightness, and I was like, oh, that's a weird feeling. Maybe it's like some sort of, I don't know, the baby's kicking in some sort of way. I didn't really think about it. I just thought, oh, my bump's doing something. I'll carry on my day-to-day life. But the other day I was walking back from picking up Ellis from nursery, and I was like, goodness me, what is that feeling? It doesn't hurt at all. It's just the muscles just go zzz. And I Googled it, and it's Braxton Hicks. I've had that quite a lot over the past like a week or so. It's normal, it's fine, doesn't mean labour's starting, but it definitely catches you off guard, and my stomach just goes rock solid. And like I said, because I didn't have it with Ellis, it just completely threw me off. It's an interesting sensation, and actually I do quite like it, because I said to Sean, it's sort of a good thing in my opinion. It's sort of like my body is warming up for labour, as opposed to last time my labour with Ellis was a little bit tricky. I had a whole like thing with it. It didn't go as smoothly as I wanted it to, and obviously because my body hadn't done labour and pregnancy and whatnot before, this time, as it's now done it before but didn't complete it properly because I had a cesarean, now I'm glad that my body's sort of warming up for what it needs to do properly, so hopefully I can have a birth, not a cesarean. I think that's about it. Actually no, the other thing I will say is that I'm very hungry a lot of the time. I am currently eating an Easter egg. They say that cravings happen in your first trimester, not so much your second. I haven't really had any cravings at all, but what I will say is that my hunger has increased a lot. I do feel like I've put on a bit of weight as well as baby weight. It's fine, I don't mind. I know that obviously these things need to happen for a baby to grow, and so I know that I can obviously lose weight in the future, so I'm not too bothered by gaining weight, but I am eating a lot. Yesterday, for example, I had pad thai for dinner, and then I asked Sean, who's come back from the gym, to buy me some chips from the chip shop. And yeah, I didn't eat all the chips, I must say, but I was just like, I'm still hungry, I need to eat something else. And yeah, I am eating quite a lot. So yeah, but that's it. That's my second trimester. It has been more eventful than with Ellis, which is just baffling to me. And I know that different pregnancies don't mean anything about gender. I'm still completely unaware about what this gender is. People ask me to have an inkling. I have no inkling at all. I will refer to the baby as it or he, just from habit of having a boy already. I haven't really thought about it. Name-wise, Sean and I have sort of come to an agreement on boys' name. We had girls' names picked out from previously, so I think they're sort of sorted. We have 2 girls' names possibly there, and then I think we have about 1 to 2 boys' names-ish. I find boys' names really tricky. So yes, I think we are getting there though. I had a panic the other day and I was just like, I haven't thought of any boys' names. What if I go into early labour and it's a boy and we haven't got any names? I don't want to be that person who lets the government decide my baby's name. So we had a quick look through the app Kinder. I highly recommend the app Kinder. If you haven't checked it out yet, I'd recommend you do. It's basically like Tinder but for baby names. It's great. And yeah, we went through the app Kinder, both of us completed it, and we think we have agreed on a name. We will see what happens later down the line. Things may change, we might discover another name, but for now, if a baby were to come tomorrow, touch wood it doesn't, they will have a name. But anyway, that's just been my second trimester. I've done my first trimester update, obviously, previously. I'll link it down below if you're interested. And yeah, what was your second trimester like if you've had a baby? Was it eventful or did you have a nice, easy one? I'm a bit worried about how heavy my bump is going to get in the third trimester if I'm struggling now. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye.